Hello, everyone. My name is Randall Johnson. I am a senior here at the University of Missouri St. Louis. I'm in my third year. This is my final semester in the sport management program, fall 2023. And this semester, my internship was with UMSL Esports. So, a brief overview of our organization. It was founded this semester in the fall of 2023. We were able to secure the funds for this through the university's partnership with St. Louis City SC. Last semester, it was announced that UMSL was becoming the official education partner of St. Louis City SC, and as a result, we spent the allocated funds to create an esports center in the basement of the Millennium Student Center on campus here at UMSL. We have 5 varsity teams and 4 JV esports teams. Our varsity and JV teams include League of Legends, Overwatch 2, Valorant, and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. EAFC, formerly known as FIFA, we only have a varsity team for that. It consists of 2 members. EAFC is not a common esport throughout, from the research that I did, it is not a common esport throughout the state of Missouri or really across the country. However, we decided to have it as one of our teams as a result of our partnership with City. We hold in-house events at the Triton Esports Arena on the first level of the Millennium Student Center, as I mentioned before. And we've had our teams already start to travel and compete against other schools at different venues. The travel is rather infrequent and sporadic at this point, only because we are a very new organization, but we're looking to expand going into next semester and into the future. My roles, duties, and goals with the organization. So my role was as a fighting game community manager, which was to set up events at the esports arena relating to fighting games, which included Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Mortal Kombat 1, Tekken 7, soon to be Tekken 8, Street Fighter 6, and anything else related to fighting games. I was responsible for it. I didn't necessarily take on a ton of event planning this semester, only because I believe we've had, to this date, including our soft launch tournament, we've only had 3 tournaments held at the arena, and things kind of turned out a little bit different than we were expecting, but I will get there in a minute. So my duties as a fighting game community manager were to find events for our Super Smash Bros. Ultimate team to travel to. We recently traveled to a regional tournament called Honeypot. It was held in the state of Iowa. We sent our 4 varsity members and I believe 1 JV member to this tournament in Iowa to compete. So that was the first travel event that we held, simply because the university is still trying to figure out how much funding to allocate us for travel. I also am responsible for recruiting players from the student population and reaching out to other prospects outside of the school for UMSL. And I work the desk at the esports arena, which includes handing out keyboards, mice, assigning people to different computer setups so that they can play whatever games they need to play. My previously established goals for this internship were to exceed the 60-player turnout from the soft launch tournament to our hard launch, help out with live streaming and casting, and then network with more people behind the scenes at UMSL and better organize the arena. My achievement of these goals has been mixed, simply because a lot of expectations from the university versus what we were doing were actually completely different, only because, and it wasn't in a bad way. We exceeded the university's expectations in terms of who all was going to show up for esports. The university, I should say the board of curators specifically, did not expect this to happen. We far exceeded. They weren't expecting us to fill all of our teams immediately, which we did. They weren't expecting us to get as big of a turnout as we did at that first tournament. So we have actually been moving ahead of schedule than what the board of curators was expecting. So the mixed part of this comes from the fact that our soft launch was a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate tournament that resulted in a 60-player turnout. The subsequent hard launch was changed twice by the chancellor of the university. We were originally scheduled for a hard launch September 30th. That didn't pan out, so we moved it back to October. That didn't pan out, and then when we did finally push it back and hold this tournament, it was a FIFA tournament that St. Louis City sent representatives to the arena for, and I believe, if I remember correctly, we only had 5 people show up for FIFA. So first and foremost, if you're watching this video in the future and you want to come try out for FIFA, please feel free to do so. But the result of FIFA not being a huge esport, at least in the state of Missouri, kind of resulted in not a whole lot of turnout for that tournament. That's how we wound up only having 2 members on our FIFA team. I believe we were only allocated 2 scholarships after that initial tournament, and we reached out to the top 2 players there. So that did not exactly go as planned, as well as the live streaming casting aspect. I work a job separately from this internship that has held me from participating in our local tournaments that we've held to this point at UMSL. I should not have as big of an issue participating going forward. I plan on being one of the head broadcasters for our commentary team for our local tournaments for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate on Thursday nights that we're holding bi-weekly. But to this point, I haven't been able to participate because I just haven't been available, and we've only had 2 other tournaments that have happened so far. However, networking with more people within UMSL has been a resounding success. I've managed to pretty much meet and get everyone's name that work in student engagement and social media marketing, etc., up in the back rooms of UMSL, simply from working with Bovie as much as I have. And it has actually turned into I have received a job offer for July of 2024, where I will take over as the head recruiter for Esports, and Bovie has already said that he wants me specifically for the job. The Board of Curators is not allocating funding for the position until July of 2024, which is why it's going to take so long. But I've already talked to the head of student engagement as well as the Board of Curators and Bovie, and I've already been approved for this position, and it will be mine when it becomes available. I've also managed to better organize the arena because initially when we started, we were just throwing headphones, keyboards, mice. This is a much lesser extent thing. But we were originally just throwing all these things on a bookshelf. But with some help from other people around the arena, I have managed to create a better organizational system for everything. There aren't wires hanging all over the place. Everything looks a lot nicer. And hopefully, as we continue to grow, we'll have better storage available to us. My takeaways, growth, and advice for people that are coming into the program and who may still be a part of this program. I am living proof that network does in fact lead to job opportunities. I was not expecting to get a job through this esports internship. I was expecting to maybe be able to put it on a resume and then go out and see what would happen next. But lo and behold, I have a job waiting for me in July, so now I just have to kind of bide my time. Patience is an aspect, but if you network and talk to the right people, it really is about who you know. With passion comes the want to take initiative. I had such an issue with taking initiative when I worked for UMSL Athletics the last 2 semesters because I just wasn't in it. It wasn't anything like what I expected it to be. I wasn't a fan of being there. I pretty much just did my bare minimum. I tried to take out of it what I could when I was there, but I had a passion for this esports program and building it from the ground up, and I put all the effort in. I showed up every single day this semester. I exceeded my internship hours by I think 50 hours. Not the most I've ever seen it exceeded by, but I was enjoying everything I was doing. I was enjoying learning everything that I could. So find something you're passionate about, and taking initiative will come so much easier to you, I promise. Starting something from the ground up is rewarding, but it's hard. So communicating and trying to build 5 esports teams was difficult, right? So we had never had esports, and in 1 semester we had to try and get the word out to all these people around campus that we are here, we need you, and we want you to come and play for us. And we managed to do it in a matter of months. We had full teams by the end of September. We had everything set up. We had all 5 of our varsity teams full, which I never would have expected. I figured it was going to at least take a full semester, and I'm sure that this is the same thing that led to the Board of Curators being blown away with how fast we took off. But building this from the ground up has been fantastic, and the challenges that came with it have been rewarding in the end. There's a lot of room to grow for this esports program, just because we have these teams now, but we're looking to continue to improve the arena. We still have a room, or a broadcasting room space, that we need to get soundproofed and set up. We still want to increase the seating level, or at least how comfortable it might be for people. And we still need to do some work with the room in the Millennium Student Center, but that will all come with the future. My biggest advice is follow your passions, like I said earlier. Passion is going to make taking initiative so much easier, and you're going to love what you're doing. Get paid for what you love. there is a way to do it. Just make sure that you communicate with the right people and with Dr. Baleska, and she will help you as best as she can, which comes to my next point. Dr. Baleska has been such a great resource for me in my growth in the sport industry, and she will go out and she will find opportunities for you. She got me in contact with the Battlehawks. She let me know what pathway I needed to take to get in touch with somebody for esports. So Dr. Baleska isn't going to hold your hand through the whole process, but she will point you in the right direction and tell you to go. And she is fantastic for that, and probably your greatest resource as a part of this program. Listen to the podcasts. Like, it sounds weird. It takes up time. It's not difficult, but if you listen to the podcasts, especially if it's someone in a field that might interest you, listen closely, because they usually have advice that might turn you into, I want to try this out, versus I want nothing to do with this. And maybe if you get something new, maybe you find something that you're interested in and you talk to Dr. Baleska about that. But the podcast can be helpful. I know some days you just don't really want to listen and you'll phone it in, but overwhelmingly they will give you some bits of advice. And all of the sport management courses may seem more busy than hard, but the work is important. You have to do all of the work in the program in order to pass. And on top of that, all of this work is building it's not studying out of a book. It's not taking tests. It's building your resume and creating, basically just building you up as an employee or as a prospective employee, as a future manager. It is all important toward building your career versus being a good test taker. This is one of the best hands-on programs that I've ever been a part of. And my conclusion that I have is simply, I didn't expect to end up in sport management at all. When I started my college journey back in 2018, I thought I was going to be a journalist, and I never expected to end up a part of this program. I never expected to end up in esports even. But I'm so thankful for all the opportunities that I've been afforded by this program and by Dr. Baleska. And I'm thankful for the job opportunity that I have going into next year. And most importantly, I can't stress it enough. Thank you to all my peers who have been with me on this journey, and to Dr. Baleska. I know this conclusion is supposed to be more about my internship than my time in the program, but I can't thank everybody enough for everything. And Dr. Baleska, I am so proud to have been a part of this program that you're building. I know that it's still kind of in its infancy and it's still growing, but I appreciate everything that you've done and how hands-on you've been with me and all the other students. And I will keep in contact, and if anyone needs any information about esports, feel free to shoot me an email. Dr. Baleska has my email and my contact information. And thank you so much, everybody. Have a great rest of your day.